This is the Tata Safari, and the Tata Safari over the years has been an iconic car in the Indian car space, be it the original Tata Safari or the Tata Safari Storm or the Tata Safari Sumo, if that existed, I don't remember, but all of them were known for being the beast of the car they were. And this is the 2021 model of the Tata Safari, which is almost the top end model, and it comes with all the features you may need. And the new Safaris have even better features, so this video can hopefully give you an idea whether you should buy this car or not. Without any further ado, let's begin.
Okay, let's start with the exteriors of this car. So this car has an LED element, which is a DRL. No connected tail lamp like how people like today, but anyways, it's not needed. So the design of this car is actually based on its younger sibling, the Harrier, which came out probably 2 years before this was launched. And that car definitely raised up a storm in the market when it came out because it wasn't unlike anything Tata had done before. Now moving back to the exterior, you can see that it has the headlight here, the fog lamp here, and it has a xenon headlight here, which is incredibly strong. So if you drive in the highways or roads which are kind of dark, these xenon headlights are kind of nice. Then you have these three element grills. I don't know what it's called, but if you have traveled in any Tata car of the same time period, you would have noticed this design element either being integrated in the exterior of the car or the interior of the car, just as like a trademark. Here it's boldly written Safari to show everyone that you bought a Safari.
Added later on by us.
Okay, did you add it? But I've seen all the Safaris with it, so I don't necessarily know.
Even I don't remember.
And here, same thing repeats. You can see that there's like a lion motif inside the headlight, so kind of like a cool Easter egg from Tata. Let's move on to the side profile of the car. So it has these massive mirrors. Actually, if you see, then I was seeing from the inside, you can basically see everything that's going on in the back. Has this nice like kind of piano black finish for some of the elements and this chrome lining that runs till the end of the car. If you see the body profile of the car, it's actually slightly raised at the back to accommodate the huge panoramic sunroof that the car has. Also, it wouldn't be able to accommodate it. But by giving it this roof rail treatment, they have been able to hide the height increase, which is actually kind of smart thinking by Tata. And it kind of also shows their like Range Rover type of inspiration, because they obviously own Range Rover and Land Rover. And some of the cars kind of incorporate a similar thing. Obviously, that looks a bit better, but they've tried to hide it and mask it, which is kind of good. Then the tires, we can move on to the tires. So this car has Bridgestone tires, which probably have been replaced, but they're 18 inches, so it's 235/60 R18 tires, and they're actually huge, so I don't think you'll notice any problems with comfort. The engine of this car is a 2-liter diesel engine, which is turbocharged. I don't necessarily feel like it lacks power. I think it makes nearly 167 bhp.
350 Nm of torque.
Yeah, and 350 Nm of torque. The door handles have like a chrome element to it, and obviously there's a request sensor here, so you don't have to use your key. The car is always very
noisy.
Yeah, vocal about all the things you do to it. And we can move on to the rear of the car. Okay, moving on to the rear of the car, it has these really nice tail lights, and I think this is one of the things people really liked about its design. Even on the Harrier, it made it look really attractive from the behind. Tata previously wasn't necessarily known as the best car manufacturer when it came to design, but slowly when the Harrier, the Nexon, and the Tiago in some reason, it kind of started the comeback era of Tata, and I feel the comeback is still going on now with their new models like the Curve, the new Nexon also. And even the new designs of the Harrier and Safari are quite good, and they're kind of inspired by this. So if you go see this, there's like this huge piano black finish, kind of to give it like a connected tail lamp look. But back then, connected tail lamp wasn't like a cool feature for people to like. Anyways, it's just a tail lamp. And I'm assuming this is all LED because there is no space to actually.
Interesting thing Tata keeps doing is this vocal for local stickers.
Oh, it came with the car.
Yeah,
okay,
so it's basically all the Indian manufacturing stuff. So.
Yeah, and here again there's some kind of Easter egg.
Yep, it's because it's the Safari, you get the lions on the Safari.
Oh, makes sense. I didn't think of it that way. But actually, if you see, the rear window is kind of small considering how big the car is. It's like you can just compare it to my hand. It's kind of really small, but I don't think you'll have a problem because the car is so airy. You don't feel claustrophobic inside the car, which is a thing I've noticed with other big cars because of the black interiors or because of the windows being shortened. You feel really like small inside the car, whereas you don't feel that necessarily here. And I am assuming this is the rear wiper washer spray. That is one thing we never find in any of the cars we review. And there's also a rear wiper here, which is good. There's a nice spoiler treatment that Tata has given here. It definitely makes it look a lot more sporty. There is a reverse camera. So this variant did not, or as in this model here, does not come with a 360-degree camera, but it comes with a decent reverse camera. I can't say it's the best quality-wise, but it's useful at least in the day. Here are the reverse sensors. And if you actually see, there is this fake exhaust treatment that is given here. These are not the real exhaust. The real exhaust is hidden here.
Yep.
If you can see. And the tire is
The
also...
spare tire is also down.
Yeah, the spare tire is also tucked in there. I think we can open the boot. Can we?
Yep. Just...
Okay, there's a button to open the boot.
And it's very heavy, so you probably... It's very heavy.
Is it unlocked? I don't feel it lifting. Ah, okay.
I told you it's heavy.
No, I feel it's because there's no proper place to hold it. It feels heavier.
Yeah, you have to use that small area to lift it.
Yeah,
up.
that is one thing you have to be careful. Boot space when these rows are up.
When the third row is open is really less.
Yeah, it doesn't feel adequate. There's again chrome treatment here, which I don't necessarily know why it's there, but I guess for those who like chrome, you like it. Then you just push this.
Yeah, you pull it down, it should go down.
Okay, I'm holding a bag, so I'm really struggling with it. But once you fold this down, you'll actually notice there's quite a bit of space.
Fit a lot of luggage.
Yeah, and you can fit a lot of luggage. But if you want to carry all the people that this car can carry, then you basically don't have luggage space.
Once we had gone on a road trip and we wanted to fit my sister's friends as well at the back, so we had to then transfer the luggage to another car. So if you want to carry both people and luggage, it's probably not the best car for you.
That is definitely not going to be easy.
Or you can just get a variant without a sunroof and add a carrier on top, like what the Innovas and all these taxis do, but that's up to you.
Yeah, I think with that we can move on to the interior. Before we end our exteriors, let's move on to just how easy it is to get into the car, because that's one thing we covered. So if you see, the door opens wide, not 90 degrees, almost I think 80 something, around the 80 to 90 degree range. It is big, but also it starts a lot more with the seat, so actually it's not that easy to get in. But because of this, how big this is, it might not be easier for older people to get in. That doesn't mean there's no space or anything. Once you sit in, you realize that actually there's quite a bit of space here, and even the height is not bad, but definitely for taller people it would be an issue. And underside support is pretty decent. I don't feel like tired or anything. Definitely a good car to go for long drives in. Okay, so now we'll cover the interiors of the car, starting off with the steering wheel of the car.
Coming to the steering wheel, it's huge, literally, and in real life too, it's heavy. I'll talk about that hopefully in the driving part of the video. Coming to the controls, this side is the media controls as usual, and here you have your cruise control and the access to the menu there. Here you get your volume up and down, obviously changing the channels, and you have a mute here along with the option to decline your call. And here is the voice mode where you can access all your controls via...
Please say the command after the beep.
Via the inbuilt thing, but nobody uses it, so it doesn't matter, and you can pick your call from here. And this is for the Bluetooth and radio options if you want to change the mode. That is that. And coming to this side, you have your cruise controls. This is to start the cruise control, and then you can set your speed using this knob. And then you can, if you want to cancel cruise control, you have to press this button. These buttons are to access the menu there, and this is to confirm your selection. Coming to this menu here, or the tachometer in general, it looks pretty old school with the analog speedometer and things like that. Most of the brands have moved to the digital ones. On the left side you get your RPM, and also it tells you which mode you're in: park, reverse, neutral or drive. Unfortunately it doesn't show you which gear you're in exactly, so that's not a feature in this car. Coming to the right side, you have your speedometer, the analog one, which is good. Coming to the center display, which shows you all your information. The first one is the distance to empty, so how much kilometers you have left before you have to refuel. It's pretty accurate compared to my Exter, which shows like 600 kilometers before refueling, and it gives me only 300 kilometers. So this is a bit more accurate compared to that. The next one is the instant fuel economy. So if you're on a trip, and it'll track the instantaneous mileage. Then these are particular trips, trip A, trip B. If you want to record the mileage for particular trips, you can do that. So these 10.2 kilometers per liter I'm getting. It's mixed usage on highway and city, mostly city. Then you have the power and torque page, and you have the tire pressure monitoring system, which is there. And then you have the settings where you can set a service reminder, and you have about the device, about the car and things like that.
Okay, so now let's move on to the other parts of the interiors. We can start off with the infotainment system that is provided in this car.
Yeah, to start off with the infotainment system and the whole center console in general, if I call it that. Let's talk about the screen. It's, I think, a 9-inch screen, if I'm not wrong. But it feels really small, especially if you see the CarPlay.
CarPlay is effectively a 4-inch screen.
Yeah, CarPlay is really small. I think they could have just made it in such a way that the entire screen becomes CarPlay, but they have these in the side, which is proprietary Tata. So let's look at what they have. You have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, both wireless. You have your radio. You can connect your others. If you have any songs on your USB, you can listen on that as well. You can connect your phone via Bluetooth, and you can use the phone to call and things like that via that. Audio setup, you can change the equalizer if you want, but that doesn't matter. Voice command, but it's obviously not good. And you have the settings options to change other settings. You have aux, Bluetooth, audio, contacts.
Can show some of the theme.
You have 3 preset options: Zen, which is a blue; Zing, a red; and a Zeal, which is a teal sort of a color. So that is that, and you can change the color, I think.
And there's physical dials to reduce the volume.
Yeah, that is that.
And skip the tracks so that you don't have to. So interaction with the display is actually minimal, which is appreciated.
Yeah, you have the home also if you want to go back to the radio or something from the CarPlay.
This is piano black material, so it's very prone to fingerprints.
Yeah.
But it looks very nice and very premium for
The
sure.
other thing is they have given the volume thing on the right, left hand side. The Exter has it on the right. I don't know why.
But it makes more sense to be on this side because the passenger interacts with this, and the driver has his own volume controls.
Yeah, so I don't know what was the design choice with the Exter of putting it here. That is that. Here you have your options to turn on the headlights, so you can turn on the headlights from here. I think it's the other. There are 2 lights, right? One of them is the daylight one, and the normal one.
DRL and
yeah, you can turn
the
that
xenon one or
this.
the halogen one.
And then you have your
hazard
lights. It's a pretty tactile button, and these 2 are the city drive mode and sport drive mode. Obviously, we haven't used the sport drive mode as much. And yeah, coming down to the AC controls.
Automatic climate control.
Yeah, you have automatic climate control. So you just set a temperature here. Like I can change it to 22, or I've just left it at 23 right now. It'll automatically cool it down to that temperature. Here is your defogger for the back, and this is for the back, this is for the front, and then you have your option to set it to
the
different modes, and you also have the fan control. I mean, it does get pretty,
but even at its highest, it's not very loud, so it's not that bad.
And yeah,
honestly.
most of the time we just leave it on auto. We don't manually adjust the fans. And this is for whether you want the outside
circulation of the air
or the inside one. AC off, AC on, and just off it from here.
Yeah, I think I'll cover my side of the car now. So there is a AC vent here. There are these speakers here. So actually the speaker is one thing that is very...
Yeah, if you want to do the speaker test now, we can do it now.
I mean, yeah, we could do it. Crab Rave is playing.
So I just it's on mute for now. So yeah, we'll slowly increase
the volume is at 4 or 5 now, just to give you an understanding of how loud this system is. It's a 9-speaker JBL system with a... Okay, we are skipping forward. It is incredibly loud and incredibly fun to listen to.
This is just on 5 by the way.
Yeah, 2 tweeters here, and after that, I think it's six speakers.
Yeah, and there's a subwoofer
Yeah,
as well.
two tweeters, 6 speakers, 1 subwoofer in the back, and it's very engaging to listen to, especially if you like. Okay, I think we are gonna have to reduce it, but especially if you like your music to be very, very punchy.
Yeah, you
Very.
can literally listen to the bass at 5. And even low notes like these aren't bad if you're looking for that.
It's very, very nice.
Yeah, we don't want to waste too much time.
Yeah,
on that.
we'll end up spending a lot more time. But yeah, we can move on to the glove box here. You can see it's decent amount of space. Another tray here which is removable. I keep getting my hand stuck there, but actually is quite a bit of space here. Closes quietly. It doesn't feel very.
Spring sound. which
Yeah,
is-
it doesn't feel very cheap. At least this part is like, it's hard plastic, but the finishing they've done on it is actually nice. This has like a wood type finish. Actually, I think you could configure the color for this. So if you wanted a different color, you could, because I've seen the videos and in that they are different colors. Here there's a nice place to rest your palm, soft touch material obviously, and there's a place to hold so that when other people are driving fast you can and this is like kind of perforated. Lots of space for bottles. You can fit 2 big bottles inside of this and an umbrella also, and this goes back. Like you can see my hand is, there's space in the back, so you might lose your items here, so be careful about that. And this is all chrome. Feels very expensive, honestly. It doesn't feel very Tata like. Then the cladding here is actually very visible, which I don't know, because maybe the interiors are white, that's why. And unfortunately the seat belt does not have height adjust. The seats look very modern, definitely look modern, has like sharp edges and stuff. Very comfortable to sit in, especially
Yep.
I can imagine for long hours. Has these like perforations in the leather, but it's not ventilated seats, so that's
Yeah.
one downside of having this model here of Safari. The newer one has ventilated
Yeah.
seats. The seat is adjustable here for recline.
Yeah.
You can recline it fully, so if you want to sleep, you can do that. And also, like, obviously, you can
Front
adjust
and
it
back,
for that.
And one more thing is the passenger from the behind can also control the thing. So if you are
this is a
sleeping,
little bit aggressive, but
yeah, if you are sleeping and someone in the back is annoyed, they can just push you front through this.
yeah, so that control is very, and other side of things, the seats are electronically adjustable.
Yeah. So basically, I have buttons here. So if I can show you, actually, I'll probably have to open the door and show. Yep. So yeah, you can see the controls. This is for the front and back, if I'm not wrong, and this is for the height adjustment. So that is that. I don't want to change the setting of the seat. Another thing I wanted to mention is you have a lot of place to rest your hand. You have a hand rest here. You want to rest your hands here. This is also soft cladding, so there's a lot of place to.
the glove box.
Yeah, you open the glove box. You have a 12-volt charger here, and you have 2 more cables.
With cooling.
With cooling as well, and one of these cables are connected to the dash cam for now. So that is that. This car doesn't come with a pre-installed dash cam. You'll have to install it on your own. Very important for Bangalore roads. Here you have 2 speakers. I think one is microphone as well for when you're talking, so that's not a problem.
You can see
Yeah.
each person gets their own reading light,
Yeah,
and the vanity mirror has its own lights
as
also.
well. Yeah, I
Whereas
think
this side it
okay,
doesn't.
this side
but
it
at
doesn't.
least it should have had a toll holder or some receipt holder, which I don't know why Tata kind of did not include.
Here you have
Auto dimming IVRM.
yeah, that is that, and yeah, the coverage is pretty decent.
Okay, now we can talk about the sunroof of this car, which is one feature people will love. It's a huge sunroof. I
So
mean,
you basically press this button. You can gauge how much time it takes to open and close. It's 1 to 2 seconds, maximum 5. If I'm rough estimating, but it's huge. It covers the whole second row, and from the third row also you can almost have a decent view. So yeah, panoramic sunroof wise, it's pretty good, and it gives like the open feeling to the car. It doesn't feel claustrophobic like Gautam mentioned. Yeah, that was about the sunroof. You can open it half, and you can
just to let some air in, maybe.
yeah, and if it's like people have that tip when you are entering a car which is very hot, you can just open
Yeah,
this
yeah.
part and it'll increase the circulation.
But when you lock the car as a safety mechanism, it closes the blinds and the sunroof if it's open. So
yeah, it does that. And then you can press this to open it completely. So yeah.
a lot of space. I mean, you can just see.
Yeah, the good thing is, since this whole thing opens, if your kids want to go and stand outside, we still don't recommend doing that. But since the space is a bit more here, they'll be a bit more comfortable compared to the other cars which just have like half the space, just people popping their heads out. Here you can have your whole body out, at least the upper part of your body, obviously. It won't be a problem as such. I had to close it because the sun is on us. Yeah, and you can probably check
There's
out
no manual adjust for the sunroof, so
Yeah,
that you'll have to wait for it to close.
the
But
good thing is you can pause it, you can press it and it'll stop at a particular point. So if the people in the middle row want to use it and the people at the back don't, you can just do this. It'll pause at any level, so at any point you can stop it. So that's there.
the interiors are white, so take that as you will. You have
Yeah.
to clean it. It will get dirty
You've
around.
got to be a clean freak like my dad to maintain it so clean. Let's go to the second row. Coming to the second row is pretty decent. You have a lot of legroom. Like even I'm almost 5'7" or 5'9".
No, I think you're more than that.
I don't know. I'm around 170 centimeters. So I still have a lot of legroom, and even headroom is pretty decent. And for long rides, it shouldn't be a problem at all. You have AC in the back and the side. It's not as powerful as the central AC though, but it's manageable. Here you have your armrest along with 2 cup holders, so that's decent. And yeah, the middle seat is decent enough for 3 people to sit here, and it's comfortable. We've gone on a trip where the car was entirely packed and no one had any problems. You have seat belts here for every
And they're nicely tucked away, so if you're sleeping or something,
yeah
they
every
won't
individual,
intrude.
yeah.
The
You
mounts
have lots of space here. You have a separate compartment here if you want to keep something
and the
small.
reading light
And you have reading lights here, 2 of them.
and this
You have
thing.
the hook
A soft
here.
close with a soft close.
You have a hook here to keep your jackets and things like that. Coming back here, you have another bottle holder. You can fit 1 bottle easily, and because of this thing you can't put anything else there, but you can keep things here. You have your speaker here, which you already heard before. Here you have
Magazine holders.
you have 2 magazine holders here, and you also have
We shouldn't be showing that.
additional space here to maybe keep your phone while charging, because there is a point down there.
But it's tucked
way-
away and hidden.
It's way down. It's pretty hard to access. Yeah, you have 2 ports here. So that is, even the ports in the front are generally hidden. So it's hard to connect the cables and stuff like that. That's that. Yeah, that is it about the second row. You have obviously your seat belts, not height adjustable, obviously.
And one thing which is missing from this car, apart from the ventilated seats, is the sunshade on
Yeah,
the side, and it can get very hot.
yeah, yeah, that is something 2021 cars didn't have. Yeah, you have 2 more speakers here. So totally you have 4 speakers at the second row.
So as you can see, Atharv is folding the.
Yeah, so basically you have a pull here, and you just pull it, it will automatically completely fold down. It folds down all the way, and then you just get in. We had kept this straight down, so we'll just have to put it up, and put this also up.
And what do you think of the legroom?
The legroom I can show you. If I put this down, I'm not.
I would say Atharv is slightly above the average Indian
Yeah, so
male height, and
for
he
me
has
it's-
decent legroom.
It's decent. I mean, I don't. I remember when we went for the test drive with the Alcazar, I had to sit literally like this on that car. So compared to that, at least I can sit normally. The comfort isn't going to be great for long rides. I'm not
No
sure.
under thigh support.
Yeah, there's no under thigh support. There's nothing, but you have 2 sockets here for charging. There's a cup holder. You have AC. This AC is better than the middle row, I would say, and you have separate AC controls for yourself. So if you're someone who wants to just go and chill at the back on long rides, then this might be the spot for you.
And what if you want to exit again?
Yeah, if anyone wants to exit, you have to put the seat down. That's the only way. It's not like the Scorpios and stuff where you can get down from the seat. Unfortunately, that's not possible. Yeah, that is about the third row.
Yeah.
So getting out is a bit hard, especially for people like me, because of this huge ass thing here. so it's kind of hard to get out. So yeah, and you want to put it back, it's pretty easy. It just slips on back here, and you just got to do this.
That is quite heavy though,
Yeah, it is
compared
pretty
to
heavy.
other cars, especially if you're used to like an Ertiga or something. It won't be easy for you to do that, but overall it is pretty decent, and it looks pretty premium from inside, which is okay. Let's start off with the driving experience.
The first thing is this doesn't have a physical handbrake, so it's this button, the
Electronic handbrake.
Yeah, electronic park brake. So you put your leg on the brake and you press this. Yeah, then you just slot your
Car into drive.
and then you're good to go. So yeah, I think first impressions, like one thing I have to say compared to my Exter, and because I haven't driven like such a huge car before, be it I mean I drove the Quid before and then the Exter, the steering feels really heavy in comparison. Like with the Exter I could just like maneuver through the traffic pretty easily. I'm not telling you can't with this car, but you feel the weight of the steering, especially if you're coming from a smaller car. Another thing is, if you're a lean mean guy like me, your hands are gonna hurt on long drives. I drove this car on the Mysore Expressway for the entire stretch, and at the end of it my hands were hurting, not gonna lie. So yeah, make sure that you're fit enough to drive this car. Now after Vishal Megamart, you have to take entrance exam for Safari as well. Just kidding. Yeah, but yeah, like Gautam said, it's a 2-liter diesel engine, so power wise you have no problems at all. So be it in the city, it gives you pretty decent driving experience. Since it's on a height, you don't get to know the potholes as much, so that is there. Another thing Gautam was mentioning is you can clearly see it in the end of the bonnet, so that is not also a problem. And because you're on a height, you can just in general see a lot more things like humps and stuff. You can see it from way farther than being on a lower car. Yeah, you can just continue driving, and as and when I
You
get some
can
thoughts.
talk about the gearbox, the 6-speed.
Yeah, you can talk about the
Okay,
gearbox.
so this car comes paired with obviously a manual gearbox or a automatic gearbox. The automatic gearbox being a torque converter variant based gearbox. It's a 6-speed gearbox, and I haven't driven it yet to tell my thoughts on the gearbox, but I don't notice any lag or delay or any shifts when Atharv was driving. Granted, our styles of driving it is quite different. That being said, I think most of its rivals also come with similar gearbox setups, so there's nothing much to talk about specifically. This car is incredibly wide though, just dimensions wise.
Yeah, you can
but
see it's literally taking.
so if you live in a
half of the length.
smaller city, I think you can consider smaller options just to be sparing on yourself. But brakes are actually strong. I mean, right now we just applied brakes a little bit more aggressively, and I could feel it restrain me, which is what it's supposed to do. Acceleration, it isn't the fastest, obviously, for sure, but if you really press it down, it will take you ahead a bit.
You can literally feel it taking off, and you can also feel the engine when you are accelerating. Like if I accelerate, you can literally hear the engine.
Yeah, which for Atharv, he usually drives the Exter, which is very flat in some way. It's not very responsive. It's designed to
the
be.
Exter also makes a lot of noise, but that's a different thing. It struggles to accelerate. This one, it shows
It does
you the
not
power
lack
of
any
the
power,
engine.
yeah.
It shows you the power of the engine rather than the lack of it. So that way, it's a really powerful engine.
And I thought it was actually a 3-liter or 3.2-liter engine.
No,
Actually,
no.
it's a 2-liter engine, but I think the turbocharger also, it helps with the acceleration overall.
Another thing is you need to get used to the accelerator and brake. Like initially, when like the first few days when I was driving this car, I was like, since this car is like way more powerful than what I've driven, I was scared to press the accelerator. But Yeah, slowly you get used to it.
If you really need to overtake someone, I don't think you'd have a problem. Like the power on demand or on
Yeah,
tap.
compared to the Exter, if I have to overtake, I'll have to. Okay.
Now we had to like aggressively brake because the road conditions got really bad. But the suspension, because of it being such a big car, it's actually quite nice. You don't feel yourself. You obviously feel yourself moving, but it doesn't feel very aggressive. It handles normal speed bumps like a champ. Honestly,
Yeah, you don't even get to know.
like you don't feel it very like. You don't like, especially people with back pain and all might appreciate how nice the suspension is of this car. At least on normal humps, we haven't taken it through a really bad patch. What about any blind spots? Have you noticed any blind spots because of it being there?
No, at least the way I drive, I don't use the mirrors as much. Slowly, I've been using mirrors now, but yeah, as of now, I haven't found any blind spots. So you can see the road is pretty bad, and the suspension handled it like a champ. If that was the Exter, we would have felt way more shaking. And plus, since this is a bigger car, the thing gets distributed over the length of the car, so the vibrations are not felt as much. Coming to the body roll, compared to the Mahindras, there's way less body roll, and that's one of the reasons why we bought this car. My mom absolutely hates the body roll, and that's why we've never considered getting the Mahindra cars. So body roll in this one is minimal. Even if you drive on the highway at around 120, 140, you don't even feel that the car is going so fast. The horn is pretty hard to press compared to other cars because the whole thing is pretty heavy, the whole module. So you have to press it, and
It is a loud horn though.
yeah, it is a loud horn. It's pretty scary for people on the road. So
Turning is actually not that bad. It's quite easy. The steering, I feel they've tried to make it as light as possible, but still there's no grip on the steering. There's no perforation on the actual steering wheel.
yeah,
Which, especially if your hands are sweaty, you might feel like that your hands are slipping or like it's heavy because there's no place for your hands to grip.
this is like a really narrow road, and this will give you an idea of how
good
wide
my bad roads.
bad roads and how wide the car exactly is. The road end is this wide, and the car is probably bigger than that. So we are driving on the shoulder
And I'm
as
going
well.
slow, very
Obviously.
slow. One thing I don't necessarily like is that it's digital and analog, but it's not symmetric. I wish it was like there was another, like the RPM meter was analog and a small display in between, or the entire thing could be digital. So I don't know why Tata gave that asymmetric this thing. And I'm telling you, these roads are so bad. Like genuinely, it can't even be classified as a road.
Yeah,
And
it's,
still, you don't necessarily feel like the car is like moving you around. Actually, the body roll, or like, I mean, not body roll, but how much the car is shaking is very less. Steering also, I don't feel it. Like, I don't feel it going off this thing.
yeah, there's a hump
And
here.
look at this weird hump that you're taking it over. I'm almost fully stopping. And when you're going slow,
You
it
don't
takes
feel
everything smoothly. That's
Yeah.
the advantage of the suspension in this car.
So basically, if you are going on a safari, pun intended, if you're going on a safari or you're on bad roads, you shouldn't feel a problem at all. So this obviously gives you the guidelines.
It
And
has sensors and all. But I'm obviously not going to park it as close where the sensors
yeah,
stand.
you have the wide mode, and you also have the zoom. The camera is placed in such a way that it can take the down angle. So that is that. Overall, I think if you're driving on bad roads, you shouldn't have a problem at all.
Overall, really fun to drive. Especially, I can tell it would be fun to drive on the highway, but on the city, I would rather take a smaller car.
I think to conclude, this car is a perfect mix of adventure and city drive as well. You can do city drive on this car, unlike some of the other cars in this segment. The only other car in this segment which could be better than this is the XUV 700. The Innovas are a different segment altogether. I think
The price range also.
the
is
price range
different.
changes, and it's a different car altogether. It's like a proper what do you call it, workhorse. You can just drive it for lakhs of kilometers,
This car is a little bit more relaxed.
Coming to the price, I think this variant of the car was around 20-25 lakh. I'm not sure the exact price. Yeah, overall, I think we are happy with this car, and my dad is so happy with the Safari that he was like, next car also will buy Safari, the facelifted version. So at this point, yeah, the perfect 7-seater car for my family is this one, and we are looking for alternatives, and we couldn't find any as of yet. So we're probably planning to change our car, and then maybe if we find the perfect other 7-seater which we like, and then that can be our next video of a 7-seater car. Having said that, I think we can close out. Share it with someone who would probably buy this car. I know there exists issues with service center in different parts of the country, but the one in Bangalore, at least, the only problem for me is that it's in Whitefield, so taking it all the way there is the problem. But
Do they not come and pick the car up?
they do the pickup drop, but service center wise, we've not had any issues as such. But I know a lot of people are having issues with dealers and service centers, and yeah, I think overall this is like proper. It's a simple car. If you want to go on trips and things like that, this will be like a really reliable, no nonsense car. Yeah, subscribe to the channel most importantly, and on that note, I think we'll end.